And the program will conclude with ziyarat. Let us begin the program. It is 8:37. Please welcome Brother Zishan Jafri to the masjid for recitation of Salam and Marsiya with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
باردیگر صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه.
سفر طویل ہے راہ نجات چھوٹی ہے سفر طویل ہے علی کا ذکر بہت ہے حیات چھوٹی ہے علی کو کیسے میں مولا کائنات کہوں بڑا ہے نام علی کائنات چھوٹی ہے سفر طویل ہے. صلوات
بار دیگر صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. یہ سوچتا ہوں کہ عابد کا حال کیا ہوگا. یہ سوچتا ہوں کہ عابد کا حال کیا ہوگا. اسیر ہو کہ وہ جب شام میں گیا ہوگا. اسیر ہو کہ وہ جب شام میں گیا ہوگا. سنا ہے شام میں جاتے ہی خون رونے لگا. سنا ہے شام میں جاتے ہی خون رونے لگا. نہ جانے شمر نے اس وقت کیا کہا ہوگا. نہ جانے شمر نے اس وقت کیا کہا ہوگا. میں سوچتا ہوں گلے کے طوق نے عابد کو کیا جھکانا تھا. گلے کے طوق نے عابد کو کیا جھکانا تھا. وہ اپنے کھوئے ہوئے لال ڈھونڈتا ہوگا. وہ اپنے کھوئے ہوئے لال ڈھونڈتا ہوگا. وہ یاد کرتا تو ہوگا وطن کی شاہی کو، وہ یاد کرتا تو ہوگا وطن کی شاہی کو، بہم کو دفن جو پردیس میں کیا ہوگا، بہم کو دفن جو پردیس میں کیا ہوگا، وہ ظلم دیکھے ہیں سجاد نے حسین کے بعد، وہ ظلم دیکھے ہیں سجاد نے حسین کے بعد، مجھے یقین ہے کہ اب تک بھی رو رہا ہوگا، مجھے یقین ہے کہ اب تک بھی رو رہا ہوگا، یہ سوچتا ہوں کہ عابد کا حال کیا ہوگا، اسیر ہو کہ وہ جب شام میں گیا ہوگا۔ صلوات اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد۔ مومنین، کل گزشتہ روز میرے والد سید زاہد حسین جعفری کی برسی تھی، یہاں ریگولر نمازی تھے، میری درخواست ہے ان کی بلندی درجات کے لیے اور آپ اپنے سب مرحوم کی بلندی درجات کے لیے ایک فاتحہ۔ بار دیگر صلوات۔ بین تھا سکینہ کا شام ہونے والی ہے، بین تھا سکینہ کا شام ہونے والی ہے، تم کب آگے بابا شام ہونے والی ہے، بین تھا سکینہ کا خشک ہے دہن میرا، 3 دن کی پیاسی ہوں، خشک ہے دہن میرا، 3 دن کی پیاسی ہوں، کون پانی لائے گا، شام ہونے والی ہے، بین تھا سکینہ کا شام ہونے والی ہے، نیند کیسے آئے گی اور کس کے سینے پر نیند کیسے آئے گی، اور کس کے سینے پر جلد آئیے بابا، شام ہونے والی ہے۔ بین تھا سکینہ کا شام ہونے والی ہے۔ عصر کے اجالے میں گھر لٹا کے بیٹھی ہوں، عصر کے اجالے میں گھر لٹا کے بیٹھی ہوں، پھر نہ لوٹ لے آدھا، شام ہونے والی ہے۔ بین تھا سکینہ کا شام ہونے والی ہے۔ آؤ مصطفیٰ، آؤ مرتضیٰ، آؤ مصطفیٰ، آؤ مرتضیٰ، آؤ فاطمہ زہرا، شام ہونے والی ہے۔ بین تھا سکینہ کا شام ہونے والی ہے۔ تم کب آؤگے بابا، شام ہونے والی ہے۔ صلوات۔
MashaAllah, for Zishan uncle and his son, Brother Hassan Askari, for their family, for their health, safety, and continued blessings. Please recite as-salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Wa ali Muhammad. Before moving on with the program, I'd like to share with you some important community announcements. Baitul Ilm Academy Sunday School is doing its annual Arba'een food drive. As we remember the thirst and hunger of the Ahlul Bayt, let's help those who are less fortunate here in our own communities. There are boxes at the main entrance where you can drop your donations, and you can donate non-perishable food as well as personal hygiene items. We are looking for youth volunteers to help with the food drive. If you are interested, please email sundayschool@baitulilm@gmail.com. Ladies and girls, Muharram Majlises will continue at Baitul Ilm every Saturday, starting at 11 a.m. through September 23rd. Majalis will be in English and are being addressed by Khanum Maryam Ali Tahir. If you are interested in reciting, please visit the Baitul Ilm website, select women's programs, and then complete the sign-up form. The Mehdi Youth Group is sponsoring an Arba'een Art and Poetry Night on Friday, September 1st at 7 p.m. The program will honor the family of the Prophet through varied mediums of expression, spoken word, visual art, and dramatic performance. If you or your child is interested in presenting, please register by emailing outreach@baitulilm.org. On this night, the Mehdi Youth Group will also host a refreshment table and bake sale to raise money for Who is Hussein. During the program, if you would like to participate in any way in the bake sale, please contact Sister Shiza Zahra. We will have our next program after tonight, tomorrow, it'll be a series of 2 majalis that will be addressed by Hujjatul Islam, Dr. Syed Hadi Yasin. And our program after that will be on Thursday night. As you know, the time for Salatul Maghrib is decreasing every week. And so this week's program will begin at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday with lecture. This will be followed by Salatul Maghribain, and Dua Kumail and Ziyarat Waritha will be recited after Salah. Tonight's majlis will be addressed by Hujjatul Islam, Dr. Syed Hadi Yasin. Maulana has a doctoral degree in clinical psychology, and he is a certified professional coach. In 1996, he began his formal Islamic education in Mashhad Islamic Seminary in Iran. During his seminary program, he attained 2 bachelor degrees, one in Quranic sciences and tradition, and the others in the fundamentals of Islamic jurisprudence. In 2009, he undertook a master's program in psychology with an emphasis on child development. Since then, he has been engaged in many projects at various institutions related to this field. He is also a certified professional coach specializing in children, parenting, and relationships. He is the founder of Hadi Life Coaching, and he provides services for clients nationwide since 2013. In addition, he has conducted a vast amount of research on relationships and marriage. His focus has been on working with children and families with special needs, and also working with the elderly in an elder residential clinic, providing therapeutic services to the residents with mental health disorders. As an Islamic scholar, Dr. Syed Hadi Yasin understands the complexities and challenges associated with minority groups living here in the United States. He has worked as a leader and motivational speaker in many diverse environments, across cultural backgrounds, in hopes of finding solutions for some of the rising issues among such communities. We are lucky to have him take time out of his busy schedule to address the community. I would like to invite Hujjatul Islam, Dr. Syed Hadi Yasin, to the minbar. Please welcome him with your ladus of salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Can you turn off the echo? Turn off the echo. Thank you.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة لأعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى لقاء يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر الأهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. May Allah inshallah accept all our azah, our prayers, our amal inshallah. Recite loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. First and foremost, I am, alhamdulillah, have the privilege to be among you all mu'mineen and mu'minat in Baytul Ilm, the house of ilm, mashallah. May Allah inshallah give us the tawfiq, all of us, and increase our inshallah ma'rifah towards Quran and Ahlul Bayt. And may Allah inshallah give us the tawfiq to be among the best of the followers of our Imam bi barakati salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. for the health and safety of all ulama maraja, recite another salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Human beings, in the history of human beings, once you look, you see that there are a lot of tragic events, happy events, big events that happen. And the most important, the hottest topics and news will be covered with the most professional news agencies, media, everywhere around the world. But it has a specific time and a specific heat that people will talk about it so much. And after that, there's nothing to cover. Because there's nothing to cover, it becomes a boring topic and people would not talk about it anymore. If you look at your lifestyle, how many big news happen, how many wars happen, how many situations happens, right? The most recent one, we had the COVID situation, right? 2-3 years, we're all involved, million and people, what happened to them, passed away, tragic situation. Although we're still involved with it, but people are not talking about it anymore, right? It's getting colder and fading away, this topic. Why? Because there's nothing else to talk about it. Because for a few years, all media, they talk about it, they covered every single thing. And if they talk more about it, you're like, again, I'm tired of this topic, right? It's enough. I mean, how much you're talking about it. Another example I give you, in World War II, 60 million people, which is around like 83 years ago, 60 million people were killed. All right, 60 million, which is 3% of the population of 1940, around that time. One of the most quote unquote tragic events in the history of recent human beings, right? 60 million people. How many times do you hear about those people who were killed in World War II? Do you even remember? Do you even talk about it? I don't know, we never talk about it. We don't even remember anniversary of that, what happened, commemoration, nothing. Less than 1,400 years ago, right? 1,400 years ago. Less than 100 people in a small location, confined, and a specific period of time, in less than one day, became shaheed, were killed and martyred. Up until today, 1,400 years almost, not only the topic is not getting colder and fading away, not only people are not getting tired of that topic, it is becoming more brilliant and glorified, and people keep talking and talking more about it, right? It's becoming more respectful, this topic. It doesn't make sense with the natural, normal process of the world. Why? Because some of you guys, you had parents, may Allah inshallah bless the soul of all marhumin inshallah. I mean, how long do you commemorate for them? 30 days, 40 days, 1 year, 2 years, right? This is the hikmat of Allah, the wisdom of Allah, so you would not be as sad and in the sorrow and gham and huzn as the first day. Otherwise we can't live in this world, correct? Yes or no? This is the situation. Then how come, I'm going to ask you guys this question, is the Muharram and Arba'een of these years that you witness have become more popular and people talk about it, or 50 years ago? This year's, right? Arba'een of this year's, more than 25 million people are going from around the world. We're supposed to have a topic 1400 years ago to become some topic that, 60 million people on that side were killed, people not talking about it. What is going on with Ashura? What is going on with the message of Sayyid Shuhada alayhi salatu wasalam and his companion, that it looks every year that is passing, one layer of this philosophy of the qiyam and the uprising of Sayyid Shuhada is being more revealed to human beings. كُلُّ شَيْءٍ حَالِكٌ إِلَّا وَجْهَ. Everything is perishable. 60 million people or 600 million people, except whatever belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reason that Sayyid Shuhada's name is alive, the reason for the heat, the majlis of Sayyid Shuhada, the muhabbat of Sayyid Shuhada, حَرَارَةً فِي قُلُوبِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, which is not going to be inshallah pulled off, is because it belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's the only one reason that you can find. Everything is perishable. Ayah Quran says, everything is perishable except what belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you're sitting here You're not sitting here because of a historical event happened something. No, that means the qiyam and the uprising of Sayyid al-Shuhada, it's not confined with the limitation of time and location. It's above and beyond that. Not only belong to Shia, right? Non-Muslim, Hindus, others. There was a video I saw it, some atheists in Tibet that were commemorating the day of Ashura for Sayyid al-Shuhada. How can you put this together and understand what's going on? That goes back to the intention of the rahbar and the leader of that qiyam and that uprising, Sayyid al-Shuhada alayhi salatu wasalam. So if we see that this is not only for the 60th of Hijri, 10th of Muharram, and the name of Sayyid al-Shuhada, and that message when he says, Hal min nasir, it's going throughout the time until today, then I have to get my message from it. I'm not sitting here for some historical event, which it is, we have to understand what's going on, but also I want to get my lessons from that as well, right? In order you're sitting here, we said the history becomes boring, right? Why, as soon as they said, Assalamu alaikum ya Aba Abdullah, your tears come down? There's something we have to analyze it together. We have to sit down and understand what's going on. This is the whole academic, professional life of the world that is. They sit down, they analyze the social event, what's going on. Which unfortunately, what was missing in the history of, that's quote unquote, I'm going to say it quietly, Shia maybe. Because whatever happened to Amir al-Mu'minin the Shia were supposed to sit down and analyze what happened to our Imam so we will not let that happen to the next Imam. Right? What happened to Imam Hassan they pull out Janamaz beneath his feet. They were supposed to sitting down and analyzing what was wrong at that time for us that happened, so we were not going to leave the next Imam. Because that didn't happen, the Ashura. They behead the son of Rasulullah, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The emotional part, the shu'ur is definitely an important part of it, but the shu'ur and understanding also is part of it too. The first people who cried for Sayyid al-Shuhada, who were they? The people of Kufa. They don't understand what they did, what happened, why. Understanding what didn't happen, we see that 5,000 Tawab, they come to sacrifice their life and for whatever. You were supposed to be with Hussein on time. What I'm talking right now, don't think I'm talking about that time. I'm talking about our time. And Allah says, enough is enough. I want you guys to sit down and understand what's going on. That's why your last Imam, our responsibility is to analyze and understand while we are commemorating the Shahadat of Sayyid al-Shuhada, musibatan ma a'azamaha wa a'azama raziyatahu fil Islam, also understand what is the next responsibility that we have. Otherwise, we're stuck in the history. There is a famous statement, which we're not getting into the sanad and authenticity, but the concept is correct. Kullu yawmin, say that blood. Kullu yawmin ashura, wa kullu ardin. What does it mean? The concept is a very interesting and correct concept. Every single day for you should be Ashura, and every single land for you should be the land of. I don't know how many of you guys have thought about it. I'm going to give some seconds to think about it if you didn't think about it before. What does it mean every single? Well, I'm not in Karbala. I might know. It's not the day of Ashura. What is going on? Indeed it is. The reason Ashura, it's so alive for us, is because every single day I should see myself, I am in Karbala, and I have to see myself, it's the day of Ashura, and I have a decision between the right or left. Make my decision to be with Sayyid al-Shuhada or to be on the other side. Every single day. Because guess what? Because Imam al-Hussein is not just one Hussein in front of Yazid, one person Yazid. Sayyid al-Shuhada is the head and the lead of the culture of Iman, is the culture of Nuh and Musa and Ibrahim and Isa On the other side, Yazid al-Malun, he's smaller than standing in front of Imam al-Hussein. He's the leader of the culture of kufr, disbeliefs, and all ugliness. The culture of Namrud and Fir'aun at that time is Yazid. The taqabul and confrontation of kufr and iman, you see that in Karbala, with the full meaning. What did Imam Rasulullah says in Khandaq when Amir al-Mu'minin, he went to the war? What did he say? Baraz al-Iman. The whole Iman is in front of the whole Kufr. He didn't say Ali is in front of Umar ibn Abdul Wahid. He said the entire Iman. And Ali is the representation and representative of Iman. Sayyid al-Shuhada is the representative of that confrontation of Iman and Kufr. We're going to prove it, by the way. Audience just said, what do you say? Where do you get it from, right? That's why today that jarayan and that whole process is still going on, because today the junood of aql and jahl are still going on. We still have iman in front of kufr, correct? That's why it's so fresh for us. That's why Karbala is so fresh. That's why Ashura is so fresh, because it's about our daily life. Because we're living in Karbala. Because we're seeing it. Every single decision I make. Let me bring it down to our daily life. We get lesson from history for our daily life. The decision I make about I want to choose a job. Is this job going to take me to the campaign of Sayyid al-Shuhada, or God forbidden on the other side? I want to get married. Is this marriage is what lead to my destination to be towards the path of Sayyid al-Shuhada, or God forbidden on the other side? I want to choose a friendship. Is this friendship with Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt and Imam of my time, Imam al-Zaman alayhi salatu wasalam? Is going to be satisfied, or is on the other side? I want to make a business. Is this business about the Islamic attires and everything into it? Someone came to Amir and says, I want to make a business. What should I do? Amir says, go first, read the ahkam of business. If someone comes and asks you, say, are you sure is this business good? How much money it makes for you, right? Is it a good market situation? Is everything is fine or not, right? I mean, go read the ahkam of business, then open a business. You see the concept? That doesn't mean go learn about the business as well. Look at the mentality that Amir is bringing it. I want to make a business. Every day I see myself between haqq and jahl. Should I do it or not? We have hadith from Ahlul Bayt from Imam Sadiq said, every day, if your aql and iman is winning, that's where the iman is winning. If you are committing something wrong, is when the jahl is overcoming. And you know what? There's no third way. Either haqq or batil. The problem with the first of Hijri was that what? They wanted to find the third way, some people. I don't want to be with the Hussein, I can because it's difficult, it's scary. I don't want to be with Yazid, understand him. Let me pick the third way, the third path. What did the Quran say? What does Quran say? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ayatul Kursi, you all know. Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu, yukhrijuhum min al-dhulumati, wal-ladhina kafaru awliyahum, yukhrijunahum min al-nur. There's only two sides. The guardianship of Allah subhanahu, Allahu waliyul ladhina, or the Tawhid and Kufr is wali. Just only two. The problem of that time was some people wanted to choose the third path. And while I'm talking about that time, we promised to do what? Think about what? Let's reciprocate. Say about that? Our time, right? It's good if you want to talk as well. I like to hear you voice as well. Right? We're talking about when? Our time. They were praying salat behind Amir al-Mu'minin. Why? Because the salat of Ali is amazing. You go to Mi'raj. But the lunch with who? Muawiyah. Because the lunch of Muawiyah is different too. Right? The third path. Some people wanted to choose, I don't want to scare you in some historical situation, but let's review it because it's Baytul Ilm. The discussion should be ilmi discussion, so we get to the conh and to the essence of this. So when I'm sitting here, when someone is reciting, when someone says Assalamu alaikum ya Aba Abdullah, when the tears are coming down, inshallah, are the tears of ma'rifah too. More than crying for the injuries of the body of Sayyid al-Shuhada, we have to cry for the heart of Sayyid al-Shuhada, what happened. To be able to stand up for the Imam of our time. They wanted to choose the third path. Sayyid al-Shuhada in the path towards Karbala, he stopped with, bin Umar. So he's one of the famous, people in Kufa. Imam says, come with me, help us. Imam went to his tent himself, come and help me. He says, you know, I can't come with you, but this is my horse, this is my sword, so if you want, you can take it. And Imam says, I don't need these things. I want you to come. How many people Imam told them to come, right? They wanted to choose the third path. On the other side, we have Zuhair. He's apparently Osmani. He doesn't want to come with Imam Hussein. His caravan, his business caravan, leave Mecca towards Kufa. The same time Imam Hussein is living, right? He says, you know what? Wherever Hussein stops, I don't want to stop there, either before him or after him. What in one situation happened that when Allah wants to bring His hidayat, it happened together. They were together. Imam sent his messenger, go tell Zuhair to come. I want to talk to you. I don't want to come. I don't want to come. His wife was there, Walham or Walham. Sometimes our spouses make us to be Ahlul Jannah. She said, woe to you. The son of Rasulullah is inviting you to go and you're scared, you don't want to go? She pushed the bottom of a ghira, right? Chivalry. No, I'll go. He went, he came back. The history is silent here. We don't know what happened. When he came back, so happy. I'm living with Hussein. The same person didn't want to go with Sayyid al-Shuhada. At night of Ashura, he stands up, he says, Hussein, you want us to leave? No. If I know that I will live in this dunya eternally, I still want to sacrifice myself for you. We have on that side and this side. Two sides, not the third path. I can be somehow religious. No, don't make it difficult. We're in the United States, please understand us, right? So a little bit of here, a little bit of there, we should be fine. It might be good for Khandaq and Uhud and Khaybar, this religiosity that is a little bit selective here and there, but it's not enough for Karbala. For Karbala, you should be 100% in love with Sayyid al-Shuhada. Understanding what we're talking about, what we're getting from this history. When we said every day, I'm going to talk to my wife, I'm going to talk to my husband. Kullu yawman ashura, I see myself between haqq and batil. Am I controlling my anger, my desires? Yes, my voice is thicker, I can say it and I have more power, I can oppress my wife or do something or say something. Which path are you? Because you know what? Ashura is not about only the characters. It's about the personality. It's about the characteristics. It's about when you share la'na ala Shem, it's not that specific person only. It's about the characteristics of Shem, right? What made him to be Shem? Because people of Kufa, beside the leaders of them, they were not born to be the killers of Sayyid al-Shuhada. They sent letters to him, invited him to come to Karbala, to Kufa, right? So what happened? We should sit down and analyze what was that virus that went in the heart of the ummah of Islam. They behead the son of Rasulullah and next day bazaar is open, everybody goes to bazaar and life is happening. Who is Hussein? Husaynun minni wa ana min Hussein. Misbah al-Huda. Everybody knew the Ashab of Rasulullah was still in the community. Why? Let me tell you maybe some of the reasons. If the parents of Kufa, 20 years, 25 years before Karbala, if they knew their parenting style is that they are raising the killers of Sayyid al-Shuhada, believe me, they will be more careful about their parenting. They will be way more careful because this son that I am raising potentially can stand in front of the Imam Zaman of his time, and guess what? Are we still talking about the history? Or we're talking about? If I am more careful, I don't think people of Kufa, they knew the biggest musibah is happening and they are making the biggest musibah. Why? Because when the path asks about Kufa, what's going on, it says, قُلُوبُهُمْ مَعَكْ وَسُيُوفُهُمْ عَلَيْكَ. We're saying their hearts are with you, their swords are against you. It's dangerous. That means it's not enough. If our heart is with the situation, isn't it? Alhamdulillah, our hearts are fully with who? Is it enough? It's not enough. I don't want to make it scary, but it looks like it's not enough. if they were aware of their style, their marriage, their lifestyle, their parenting, it's leading towards that musibat that they are making it, believe me, they will be more careful. Is my parenting according to that? Am I worried about this? When I talk to my son, to my daughter, when I'm training them and I'm sending them to public school, am I aware of that I am making the history too? How easy for me to sit down and judge people of Kufa while I am making the history myself. Am I or not? God knows when is the zuhur is happening. Am I and my generation are going to be? Inshallah, absolutely, inshallah, why not, right? But mu'min is between khawf and raja. Careful. That's what I said, if they were sitting down after what happened to Imam Hassan and they were analyzing what's going on and what we have to do, instead of just rushing into the qiyam of the Awabin and Mukhtar, just understanding that, well, let's sit down, what's going on with our Imam, we have to understand. That's the difference. Every day I understand, I try to understand, where I'm standing and what I need to do on one side here, on that side. And if you choose the side of Sayyid al-Shuhada, you'll be among the best. What did he say about his Sahabi? He said, Bismillah ar-Rahman, Inni la a'lamu ashaban awfa wa la khayran min ashabi. When Imam Ma'asum says, I don't know anyone better than my ashab, that means for the entire history. I don't see anyone better than them. That's why in Ziyad al-Warith, what do you say? Ya laytana kunna fanafudha fawdan. Even that ghulam of Sayyid al-Shuhada, we wish we were like them, right? Either haqq or batil. Every day I have to choose. I can't choose the third path. I can't be a little bit religious. When I come to the center, I'm very religious. Muharram and Safar, very religious. Maulana, please don't make it difficult. I mean, that's why I understand about Karbala. That's why I understand about Muharram and Safar, to discuss these things. The ghaybat happened because of Thaqifa, yes, but it's getting longer because of what? Because I am not ready. I don't think those, the companion of our time is going to come from the moon. It's going to be among us. Correct or not? That means among my parenting, my marriage, my responsibility, our community, inshallah, one of us, some of us, maybe all of us, right? Am I ready for that? Well, people of Kufa were ready for the Imam to come. You know what the letters that they sent? Hussein, come, we're waiting for you. The fruits of the trees are ripe, ready for you. The birds are singing. Look how lovely they're saying. The fruits are ready. The birds are singing, all waiting for you. What happened? Some of the Mufassirin says, تنقبت in Ziyad Ashura, al-Jamad تنقبت niqab, but some of them is because some of them they covered themselves so because they knew they were among those people that they sent a letter to Sayyid al-Shuhada. Imam said that. You and you and you and you didn't send me the letter? You did. What are those letters? You know what is it? Allahumma ajjal li waliyikal. This is the letter. Imam, come. We're saying as well. The difference, inshallah, is that no, we got lessons, ibrah from history, and we don't want and let the history happen again, right? On the other side, this is the side of Sayyid al-Shuhada, all united with one goal. One of the differences between haqq and batil is this. With one goal, you go towards the haqq. On the batil side, multiple reasons. Group of them came out of jahl. Brothers and sisters, 30,000 people at the day of the Fajr of Ashura, they took wuzu, qurbatan ila Allah, yataqarrabuna bidamihi ila Allah. They took wuzu to kill Hussein to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On one side, Azan Ali Akbar, and Imam Jama'at Sayyid al-Shuhada. On the other side, Imam Jama'at who? Umar al-Sa'd. If it's not scary, I don't know what it is. Abshari bil Jannah. He's shouting Umar al-Sa'd in the campaign. I give you the bashara, the good tidings for Jannah. Go towards Jannah. You be killed, you're going to go to Jannah. You kill Hussein, you're going to go to Jannah. Group of them out of jahl. Group of them out of, those barbaric one, Shamr and Khuli, for the money and for the, position and so on. So group of them for money. Different reasons to go there. Side of Sayyid al-Shuhada, only one side. One reason, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I said Yazid is the head of that culture of Kufr, right? When Uthman got the power, this is history. When Uthman got the power, Abu Sufyan, you know what he said? He said, Ya Bani Umayyah, تلقفوها تلقف الكرة ولا تصيرن إلى أولادكم فما من جنة ولا نار. Now that the power is in your hand like a ball, pass it to each other. There's no Jannah, there's no nothing. Forget about it. Very similar to 40, 50 something years after that, his grandson Yazid, what did he say? لعبت حاشم بالملك نعوذ بالله لعبت حاشم بالملك فلا خبر جاء ولا وحي نزل. Hashim Rasul, he played with power. There's no Jannah, there's no Nar, there's no revelation. You see, back to back is happening. So we're sitting here, we understand that and one of the most, tonight I will just focus on this part. What was the target of Bani Umayyah, which is still happening, and what I have to be careful with? One of the worst things that Bani Umayyah, my brothers and sisters, they did was to destroy the izzah and honor of Muslims at that time. Identity crisis. People were not proud of themselves to be Muslim anymore. Psychologically, they messed with them. Kufa was built at the time of the second Khalifa, right? It was, an army city, basically, mostly. Because they wanted to have a troop next to Iran for that time, right? The majority of Kufis are warriors. Ibn Ziyad comes with few people, less than maybe 10, 15 people to Kufa, to conquer everything. Because that izzah, that honor, that identity has been crushed. You heard about this at the time of Mukhtar? They beheaded 6,000 after they killed Mukhtar, 6,000 of the ashab and the soldiers of Mukhtar. When Mus'ab went to Mecca, Ben Omar told him that if 6,000 human beings were all animals, were ships, and you were killing 6,000, in one day it was a Israf, there were 6,000 Muslims. What happened? They treated them like animals, right? They put them down. You can go pray, fast, as long as you want in masjid. Do not be proud of yourself to be a Muslim. What is happening today? Huh? Am I brave enough? Is my child in my parenting brave enough to announce what is the identity of myself and my son? Is he proud? Is she, mashallah, may Allah bless our sisters, because they are the ambassador of Hazrat. Because that hijab showed them outside. Me and you, we go outside, no one knows, who is it? It's different. They go out, they are having the flag bearer of Hazrat Zahra in Islam. Is my household working towards that? That I have that identity, that I'm proud of myself to say it? Not that even if I want to go easy example, I want to go to a restaurant, I'm not a vegetarian, I'm a Muslim. You might think this is a simple example, but if you ask me as a psychologist, goes back to the mentality of that person. It's something you're trying to hide. If it is something hide, you're probably not sure about it. And it's supposed to be your ideology, your aqidah, right? And if you're not sure about it, sometimes somewhere you'll be tested, you might not be able to pass the test because you're not sure about it. Makes sense or no? Yes? I want to hear yes or no. Unless I stand up and says, no, I am. We're not talking about public announcement, but when is the time I need to pray? The brother came and said, Maulana, can I make my salat qaza, then I go home, I pray right after that. I says, why? He said, I'm at work, people will see me, I said, oh, it's something so shameful, why don't you just stop doing it then? If it's something that you're proud of it, you're doing right or wrong, which way? I understand there's the feeling about it. Why we're human beings, people look at us, well, I understand there's the human feelings, right? But I stand up for myself. Why say the Shuhada at the Zuhr of Ashura, one of the codes of Ashura, by the way? Why at the Zuhr of Ashura he says, you know what? Let's pray Zuhr Jama'ah in front of others. Imam al-Hussein, you only have 70 something people, soldiers, right? Why don't you First and foremost, in few hours, you're going to go meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. Why don't you wait? What's about the salat? If you want to pray also, that's fine. Why don't you go behind the tent so they don't come and kill some of your friends that are going to be standing in front of you? No, sweetheart. It's all about this salat, I will fight. So now, if I go to Azab Sayyid al-Shuhada, well, when it comes to message of Sayyid al-Shuhada, I do the contradiction here. I'll stop here. You be the judge. What does it mean? So if he's praying in front of everyone and he's ready to sacrifice few of his soldiers for the sake of this salat, Amir al-Mu'minin Safin, he was fighting. One of his companions says, Ya Ali, I think it's around the time of Azan, right? Amir al-Mu'minin look at this as he smiled. One of the soldiers says, brother, this is not the time of this announcement. We're in the middle of the war. Amir says, wait a minute. We're fighting because of this salat. What do you mean? I guess I want to say this. Is my lifestyle, is the lifestyle of the side of Sayyid al-Shuhada that he is satisfied? Or my lifestyle, alhamdulillah, we know none of our lifestyle is on the other side, or majority of people, the third way. A little bit of this, I love Sayyid al-Shuhada, but it's too much. A little bit of that as well. Let me make my own religion. It happened. One day Amir al-Mu'minin sit down with Malik Ashtar, his friend. They're talking to each other. He says, Malik, what's going on with these people? Malik says, Ya Ali, people cannot stand the idalat of mahd, the pure idalat that you have. They can't. They want to mix it. I need to understand. If enemies are working on my identity, if they are purely professionally with their own intention working on the identity of my children and they're updating themselves day to day, hour by hour, am I careful? If people of Kufa, we keep going back and forth, right? We have to. A little bit of the history, analyzing it, bring it to our life. Amir al-Mu'minin says, go read the history because you get ibra and lessons from it. Tabi' na'al bin na'al is going to happen. Everything is going to happen to this ummah. Again, if the people of Kufa, they knew that the strategies of the Bani Umayyah, how to destroy their identity, they would have been more careful. They wouldn't be just happy they go to masjid, salat al-fajr. No, they will be more careful. I understand. Do I understand what's going on around me? Do I understand the distractions and how they're working on the identity of my children? Where it happens, one of the brothers says, my son, he's 8-year-old, he came to me, he said, Baba, today I went to the school and I announced that I'm Muslim, It's a child, public school, and says, Baba says, so I told him, you know what, son, that's good, but you don't have to announce it publicly, be careful, you don't have to say it in front of everybody, just, oh, mashallah. So if you're saying it to 7-year-old, hide something that is part of he's proud of it, his essence, you're saying hide it, he's going to think, why I need to hide it? Probably something is wrong with it. No, good job. You did a good job. Alhamdulillah, we're proud. We're going to do that. And people should follow it. Between haqq and batil. They're going to smash the identity of this is the hukumat of Umayyad. This is how they do. The second horrible things, they wanted people to have makhlud and mixture of haqq and batil. They wanted a little bit of religiosity and they want this malghama altogether. That will be selective religiosity, I call it. Wherever you feel comfortable, you be religious. Whenever you're not feeling comfortable, you have the option to alternate, to change. That's what they did. But I understand that the huwiyah and identity of my children starts from where? My house. If you are raising your voice, yes, your wife said something that made you so upset and oh my God, you can't control it, and you want to say something and you want to raise your voice and leash that anger and let that go out and teach your wife that she would be more careful next time. Understand that possibly you're not just ruining your children, you're ruining the next generation after you. If your husband comes home and you're supposed to show the respect and honor and priority, and you're not doing it because he said something happened, blah blah blah, you're ruining the whole generation. That's what we're missing. We think this is our children. Come and talk to me. People come to me every day. When I track it down, her father, his father, back to back, two parents, two grandparents, they were like this, they were like this, they were like this issue. I don't think in the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen, the most successful household, the most successful marriage, if you want to find, what marriage is that? Amir al-Mu'mineen and his wife Sayyidah Zahra Salamullahi alayhima. I don't think they were fighting every day. Otherwise they wouldn't have the most successful result, Hassanain and Zainabain, right? Because it's not just about being imam, it's about the lifestyle, it's about the parenting, it's about the marriage, right? That's why Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt are human beings like us. Believe me, it's Amir al-Mu'mineen. He was raising his voice and anger and everything against the Quran and fighting with his wife and everything here and there. I don't think Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein would be the way that they were supposed to be. It's the result of the parenting. We sometimes like to put Ahlul Bayt somewhere, on sanduq somewhere, just look at them, praise them, don't touch them. Let's just praise them. No, bring it to our life. To see what is their lifestyle. Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he asked his son-in-law Amir al-Mu'mineen, how's your wife? Best of all people, asked the second best people, Amir al-Mu'mineen, about the best Khairun Nisa al-Alamin, right? Sayyid Nisa al-Alamin. How's she? He answers one, and in that one it's a doctrine of marriage. He said, Ni'mal aun ala ta'atillah. The best of the supporters to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning that she's the best wife, she's the best mother, she's taking care of the house and everything. And he is Ali as well, by the way. He says, I have never said anything to make her upset. And please don't tell me this very outdating reason. They are imam. They are so. If it was for the sake of that, then what we're doing then? No, they are showing it to us. We're supposed to follow that path. We're supposed to create the household situation ultimately the way that I feel I'm getting closer to Allah. So some people come to me and says, you know what, Maulana, when I was single, I was more religious. I was praying more on time, things were better, I was going to masjid. Now I'm married, it's different. Well, I think we're losing the purpose of the marriage. We're supposed to be together to complete each other, to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is impossible. When both husband and wife, they have one love, which is Sayyid al-Shuhada, they can't solve the issue with each other. I don't understand how. When we have one love, you want to see it? Look, Habib ibn Madahir, Muslim ibn Awsaj. They have one love together. They might have different opinion, but one love together. That leads them towards one direction and salvation. Husband and wife can have issue of ups and downs situation, but ultimately there's one path. We have to get back together. Yes, that mind is therapy and everything. It's not just about religious aspect, right? Everything professional, taking care of it as well, but one goal. Do that means Majlis of Sayyid al-Shuhada should be Majlis of ta'ammul, tafakkur, pondering, thinking. You see how beautifully our majalis are? We start with Quran, we start with Zikr of Ahlul Bayt. Before we go to Matam, we have what? قال الله تبارك وتعالى قال رسول الله قال الصادق وقال الباقر. Then we go to Matam. So now when I bit my chest, it's not just a symbol. I'm hitting my heart to wake up. Hey, wake up. You need to understand. If Imam al-Hussein was alive today and he was coming to me and you and you and you and you and you and you, what was he asking? What would have he asked from every single one of us today? There's no war. You know the answer, only you. If Imam Hussein come and knock the door of your house and he want to ask you something, what is that? What is it in your daily life? In your daily life? Is it control your anger? Is it work on your ibadah? Is it work on your... There's one global, social. There's one individual. Is it work on your hawa ya nafs? That's your jihad of Karbala. And when I say Imam Hussein comes, because we have the Hussein of Abu Talib, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wassalam. And he is asking. This majlis, while we're talking, while we're reviewing this together, every single one of us, I'm thinking out loud, by the way. What I'm saying, I have to think about myself too. Thinking about it, what part of my life I need to change? I want my life to be on the campaign of Sayyid al-Shuhada, not the second, not the third path. What do I need to change? Tomorrow is late from tonight. And it doesn't have any age or anything. Whoever you are, wherever you are, it's just a matter of making a decision. This is the path of Allah. Hurribni Yazid al-Yahi, with the full speed until the day of Ashura, he's going towards Jahannam. Only a few seconds or moments with him, he's thinking, he's battling with himself. He made his decision. You made the decision, this is the path. And when he went to Sayyid al-Shuhada, you know, among all the Shuhada of Karbala, I look at myself, I think I can relate more with Hur because of my amal, my action. You know? Habib, oh, mashallah. But when he went to Sayyid al-Shuhada, Zaban Ahal, when he's going, he's probably worried, right? I'm the one who made them stuck here. I'm the one who did this and that. What's going to happen? And so Sayyid al-Shuhada is waiting. Come to us. Are you going to accept my tawbah? Of course, I'm Hussein. Ya Hussein, I know my lifestyle was maybe not the way that I was supposed to be, it was supposed to be, but is it a chance, I'm talking on behalf of all of us, is there a chance, Ya Hussein? More than a month, these brothers and sisters came to this Majalis for a reason. They're taking the steps, but they're asking you to take their hands. Is it possible, Ya Hussein? Of course. If we didn't have that hope, we wouldn't be sitting tonight here. If Imam al-Hussein, I always have this battle, should I say it or not? Hur, yes, apparently, physically, they were stuck in Karbala because of Hur, right? Maybe that's why he didn't want to see Sayyidah Zainab Salaam alayha, because he cannot. Maybe he didn't want to see Sukaina. Why? Because I can't see the little daughter. I am the reason that they're stuck here. Ya Hussein, Imam is someone. If you forgive Hur, that they banned the path of the Imam of his time, they didn't let them have water, at least I know I didn't do that. I might have broken the heart of my Imam, but I didn't ban them from saving their life and everything. If you forgave him, I'm expecting you to forgive me, Ya Hussein, as well, and ask Allah to forgive me. What Sukaina we're talking about, right? The Ayyam belonged to her, the 3-year-old daughter of Hussein. It's understandable if they were fighting all together, the soldiers. But I don't understand, no one understands. What was the innocent fault of that innocent daughter of Hussein? What they were against the children at the Zuhr of Ashura when they killed Sayyid al-Shuhada, these children, each of them were running in different direction on the desert of Karbala. Allah knows what happened to heart of Zainab Salamullah alayha, running after each of them, saving them. Zainab, you're in charge of them. They are the amanat in your heart. Each of them hiding somewhere. Some of the Maghatir said, one of those little children, one of the soldiers came, he had a little of water. I gave to one of those daughters. I don't know if she was Ruqayya or Sukaina or not. She grabbed the water. She said, did you give water to my father before you kill him or not? He said, no, we killed him thirsty. She ran towards the Qatligah. Oh, my father Hussein, I found water for you. Abu Abbas, come back, I found water for you. Allahu Akbar. Zainab, you have one amanat, most important one, this daughter, take care of her. Let me tell you what happened. When they were going from Darwaza to Sham, they asked Imam Zainul Abidin, what was the most difficult part of this trip? You all know, 3 times Sham. Maybe one of the reason is this, because they put the head of Shuhada on his spears in front of the Ghafila of Usara, and at that moment maybe Sukaina was looking at the head of her father Hussein. You don't do that to 3-year-old yatim. I'm asking you, if one of your community, a 3-year-old daughter loses her father, everybody take care of her, calm her down, not to show the head of father to her. The second time in the palace of Yazid Mal'un, Sukaina behind Auntie Zainab, when she saw Yazid Mal'un hitting the lips of Hussein. And the third and the last one, when she's sitting in Kharabi Shabur in prison. Of course, a 3-year-old, it's been weeks she was away from her father. She misses her father. Of course, she would ask for her father. But instead of calm her down, they brought the head of Allah Baba to her. You know, when a daughter, a 3-year-old daughter, if your father goes to work, after the work come back, as soon as she opens, she starts hugging the father, talking to father. Baba, you were not here the whole day this happened. As soon as she saw the head of Hussein, she grabbed it. Some of the Maghadir said that's it. Some of the Maghadir said that she started talking, cleaning the head of the father Hussein. Those lips were full of injuries, cleaning the head of Hussein. Why? Because it was in the tanur and the oven of Khuli also. Baba, you were not with us. Saban Hal. Allahu Akbar. Anytime they wanted to hit us, Auntie Zainab protected us. Alhamdulillah, she's quiet. Maybe she fell asleep. But whenever Zainab called her, she's not responding. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. This is the musibat of Zainab. Zainab, she was amanat of Hussein to you. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah wa ala al-arwah allati hallat bifna'ik. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بغيت وبغي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. All together inshallah. السلام على Raise your voice. Bismillah. والسلام على الحسين وعلى One more time, inshallah. See yourself, inshallah, in Bainul Haramain. Say this salam. And when you say Awlad al-Hussein, remember daughter of Hussein. As-salamu ala al-Hussein wa ala ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. Inshallah, few dua before matam. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بحق الحسين, Ya Allah, hasten the dhuhr of his son Imam Mahdi. Us and our generation, let us be among the best of his followers. Do not let anyone from our generation to be amongst the enemies of Quran and Ahlul Bayt. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, those who have hajat and requests, give them khair hajat. Those who are under difficulties, provide opportunities for their freedom. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, those who are sick, they wish they could come to this Majalis, cure them at this moment. Those who passed away, send the thawab and reward from our gathering to their souls. Matam Hussein.
اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر لاش اکبر پہ شاہ جب پہنچے دل کو ہاتھوں سے تھام کر بولے تیری فرقت نے اے علی اکبر آگ دل میں میرے لگا دی ہے آگ دل کی بجھاؤں میں کیسے آگ دل کی بجھاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر تو ہے کڑیل جوان اے بیٹا باپ تیرا ضعیف ہے کتنا نور آنکھوں کا ہو گیا رخصت مجھ کو آتا نہیں نظر خیمہ لے کے خیموں میں جاؤں میں کیسے لے کے خیموں میں جاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر جس نے 18 سال پالا تھا کیسے دیکھے گی وہ تیرا لاشا تیری شادی کھاتا جسے ارمان کیسے جھیلے گی وہ تیرا صدمہ تیری ماں کو بتاؤں میں کیسے تیری ماں کو بتاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر دیکھ آیا ہے قاصد صغرا راہ تکتی ہے وہ دکھی بہنا تجھ کو بیمار نے بھلایا ہے وعدہ صغرا کا کیوں بھلا ڈالا غم یہ دل سے لگاؤں میں کیسے غم یہ دل سے لگاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر بھائی بہنوں کا ہے عجب رشتہ جس کا ثانی کہیں نہیں ملتا روکے صغرا نے یہ لکھا اکبر ایک دکھیا کی لاج رکھ لینا مر گیا تو بتاؤں میں کیسے مر گیا تو بتاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر فاطمہ یہ دعا ہے خالق سے وقت ایسا کسی پہ نے آیا جیسا مظہر نے لکھ دیا منظر شاہ کہتے ہیں بس یہی روکے زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے زخم دل کے دیکھاؤں میں کیسے تیرا لاشا اٹھاؤں میں کیسے اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر اکبر میرا سحر والا اکبر یا اسے
متوجه زيارة.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا خاتم الأنبياء ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة. السلام عليك يا علي يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى وارث أمير المؤمنين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين، خصوصا سيدي يا مولاي أبو الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين وقاسم بن حسن ومسلم بن عقيل وهاني بن عروة وحبيب بن مزاهر وهر الشهيد الرياهي. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة بن الحسن القائم المهدي. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب العصر والزمان، الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان وشر الشيطان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. السلام عليك يا مظهر الإيمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا إمام زماننا هذا، أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وزهورك، وجعلنا من أنصارك وعوانك، وجعلنا من المستشهدين بين يديك ورحمة الله وبركاته.